Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's Leora and I talk on here about books, reading, writing, sometimes other stuff as well. Today is one of those other stuff days because today I'm going to be doing a little Q&A in celebration of me hitting 30k on YouTube. I really enjoy celebrating the milestones. I've already done a little giveaway for 30k, which was really exciting. I've already closed that giveaway and contacted the winners, but I do want to thank everybody who participated for your sweet and kind words. And just thank you guys in general for 30k. I've already said it in that video as well, so I won't go into it again. I also just thought that because my channel has grown a bit again over the last few months, years, it was a good time to do a Q&A so you guys could ask me some questions and get to know me better. I've also done one of these Q&As way back when I hit 1k subscribers, which is just like so weird but sort of so cute to think back of. And yeah, just like having you guys here to be able to chat about the things I love is exciting. So I've got the questions on my phone. I've put a little story up on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram to be sure you never miss anything like this. And also for my fun bookish posts. I'm just now seeing I've ruined my nail polish. I'm never able to like do my nails and then not ruin them because it takes so long for the nail polish to dry and I'm upset. Okay, so I've got the questions here. I will pick a few and answer them and let's get to know each other a bit better. Okay, somebody on here asked, what is your favorite book of all time? Geez, enough with these hard questions. I think, God, that is a really difficult question because like there's just so many books that I love so much and that I've enjoyed reading so much, and it's really difficult to say this as well because lots of times a book turns out to be my favorite because of the specific time period I read it in as well. Like sometimes you read something that's just coming to you at the exact right time and it's like exactly what you need in that point of your life. So I'm not sure if I could pick just one book that is like my favorite book of all time. I'm like sort of looking around at my shelves like, could I pick one book? I think The Last Empire, which is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, is definitely in the top 5, so that's just the one I'm going to go with now. It's a wonderful fantasy. It's got like so many elements that I really enjoy in fiction. It's very funny and witty as well, which is one of my favorite things in books, and it's just a book I really enjoyed, and I think lots of my followers would really enjoy it as well. How to get more book friends as I'm really struggling. I feel like this is a topic that doesn't get talked about enough in the way that sometimes it can be really difficult to make new friends as an adult. You know, you've settled, you've gone through college, you're not meeting new people on the daily, and I think this is where your hobbies come in, and your hobbies can really help you to get new friends that you would have otherwise maybe never met, and so reading is one of them as well. I know that a lot of my friends are book friends, but I think that's also because of booktube. So I've made lots of friends through booktube, which I'm really grateful for, and it's been really wonderful. A lot of them I still FaceTime with regularly. There's some of them that live near to me and I see like on a weekly basis, but I can imagine if you've just moved to a new place, it can be really hard, and I would recommend use those hobbies to get new friends. So for example, Google if there's any book clubs that are looking for new members around you. See if your bookstore maybe organizes events for book lovers. Stuff like that can be really nice. Also, if you're into writing, you can join a writing group near you. There's lots of local writing groups all over the world, and that would be a perfect place to meet other book lovers as well. And then if you don't feel like going somewhere physically, I would recommend joining Book Talk or BookTube or Bookstagram. You know, especially Bookstagram I think can be a more low-key place to be a bookish creator, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like this whole thing and this like whole endeavor. It can also just be a way to make more bookish friends and to get like involved in the bookish community yourself. And also events like YELC, like the Young Adult Literature Convention, but also other literature conventions or book markets can be really nice places to meet people. I've in fact met one of my best friends, Q, who's been on the channel before as well. I've met her through a book club, so you know, a great opportunity to meet new people. I also know that Patreon communities could be potentially like a really nice place to meet online bookish friends as well. So that is just a bit of my rambling on this topic. I definitely know that there have been times in my life where I felt it was quite difficult to make new friends as well, but I've always been very social and I've always had loads of interests and hobbies. So oftentimes I'd meet new friends at like pole class or like the dancing studio or even the bookstore or on the train. I don't know what it is with me. I just really like talking to random people as well, I guess. But instead of finding that embarrassing, I'm trying to see it as like an admirable trait of mine. The next question is, do you sometimes skip a book? And the answer is yes. I've more and more started to DNF books, and even though it feels like a bit of a waste of time sometimes, it's like, you know, I've spent all these hours on this book and now I don't like it, and it feels like a waste if you stop reading. But at the same time, what a waste to spend hours doing something you're not enjoying. That is so silly, right? So I sort of try to tell myself to do it less and less, and there's still times where I do end up finishing a book because I just want to know where the story goes or whether maybe I will end up liking it. But there's definitely also been times where I've just been like, you know what? I'm not going to spend any more seconds or minutes of my life reading this book because it sucks. So yes, I definitely DNF books. Okay, the next question I see, if you could only wear one outfit for the rest of your life, what would it be? And you know what? This is something I think about regularly, because what if I die today and this is my forever ghost outfit? Is this a good haunting outfit? I'm not sure. But this is really difficult. I think I would probably go with like a skirt, just because I wear skirts most of the time and I think I feel most myself in a skirt. So maybe a long skirt and like a nice vintage sweater would be really me, and I feel like that's also like, that can go all the seasons, you know, because you've got the skirt but then you've also got the sweater and it can be very timeless. So I think I'd go with that. It's a random answer, but I have like this really nice long black skirt with like flowers on it, and I think that would be a good forever outfit for me. But I would definitely struggle because I love my outfits and like, you know, changing up my looks. Okay, so I see some more questions in here about like my style in general. How did you find your style? Who inspired your style? Where do you get your outfits? So I have been very into thrifting and like secondhand fashion and stuff like that since I was a teen. I think especially as a teen and a student, I just didn't have a lot of money, and you know, it was a very affordable option to buy stuff that I really liked. I also really like sort of the like scavenger hunt aspect of it, like going to a thrift store and not being certain you'll find something you like, just like really snooping through racks and like finding cool items that are like unique. That's something that I really like about that. I've also worked part-time in a vintage store since 2019, and so I take a lot of clothing home from work as well. So lots of my outfits are thrifted or vintage, and then next to that I try to shop as sustainable as possible. So I shop a lot on Vinted as well, which is a secondhand platform app where you can sell clothes but also buy clothing. And oftentimes when I see something fast fashion that I really like, I try to find it on Vinted. So those are some of my tactics. And then there's like some brands that I know are like smaller brands or sustainable brands that I like to support. Like this sweater is from Minga London, and I know also, for example, the Hippie Shake is a brand I really love, but those are like a bit more expensive, so I only have like a few items from that. And then lots of my wardrobe is just old stuff that I bought at like Pull&Bear or Monkey or H&M like years and years ago, you know, before I tried to be as sustainable as possible. And when it comes to like my style and the type of stuff I like, I think I get really inspired by movies. Especially recently, witchy 90s movies, love it. And also Wes Anderson movies. When I was younger especially, I was obsessed with Wes Anderson movies and all the fashion in them, and like the berets and the colourful outfits. I've also always just really enjoyed colourful outfits and warm colours and just like being really bright in your looks and stuff, and like a little bit quirky. It's a bit of a cringe word, but you know, I'm cringe but I'm free, and I really enjoy looking a bit quirky. Then I'm just also really inspired by the 70s, sometimes the 60s. 80s not so much. There's like a few 80s items that I really like, and I used to have like a little bit of an 80s fashion period when I was younger, but that's gone and past now. The 90s, I love like the sort of witchy 90s stuff. I've had like this Pinterest board since my teens where I put like all these fashion outfits onto, so that's been like a constant inspiration. So I hope that's a few of your fashion questions answered, and thanks for all the compliments about my style. That's really sweet. Not a question, but I just think you'd be such a fun friend. Thank you. That's so nice. I hope I'm a fun friend to my friends. That would be lovely. Tell us about your favorite middle grade books. Okay, I can do that. So I regularly talk about middle grade on here. It's an age category that I still really love reading, despite the fact that I'm obviously not 12. I just think there's something so whimsical and like cozy about a lot of middle grade. Like the stakes are often not as high, which is what I really enjoy. So of course I have to mention Nevermore by Jessica Townsend, which is about a young girl who's cursed and she gallivants off to a different world. She gets like sort of kidnapped on the night that she was supposed to die. I've talked about this series in countless videos. It's just one of my favorite series. I would say it's sort of a cross between Wes Anderson movies and like that whimsical feeling you had as a child discovering your favorite new book. It's really very good and it feels very colorful. It's very fun. So it's definitely a series I would always recommend if you ask me for middle grade recommendations. What else? And then I've recently picked up this book. I can't really say it's a favorite because I haven't read it, but this is Tale of Magic by Chris Colfer, and it's also about a girl who discovers she's a fairy and she goes off to like this magical world. And I love books like that, so maybe this could be a new favorite, potentially, when I do end up reading it. This was from my friend Meredith, and she said, when you're a published author, will you come to Scotland on your book tour? Okay, so as some of you may know, I've been writing my book. I'm really hoping it's going to come out next year, but honestly, I can't make any promises because it's a wild ride and I don't know how it's gonna go. But yes, if I do ever get snagged by a major publishing house, I would love to go on book tour to Scotland. But you know, I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. I'm planning on self-publishing my first work, so I don't think there's gonna be any fancy book tours, but you know, never say never. I am quoting Justin Bieber here and I am so sorry about it. Anyway, that was my little Q&A. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, just as like a little in-between video. If you have any more random questions you would love answered, you can always leave them in the comments. And if not, I just love to read in the comments down below what book you're currently reading. I'm always curious to see what you guys are reading. So that was it for this video. I hope to see you again in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day and I'll see you soon. Bye!